Any would like to go outside. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm Phil.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Welcome to Pretty Good Cooking.
Pretty good.
Tonight on the show, we're going to teach you how to make a kale Caesar salad. We're going to whip up a little Caesar dressing. I'm going to do it in an immersion blender, but you could do it by hand. And Kevin's here to grate the cheese. This is Pecorino, Parmigiano, whatever the
Pepperino Supremo.
Yeah, it's fancy stuff. If you want to go ahead and start grating that on a fine grate, that would be fantastic. Alternatively, if you do not have a distinguished gentleman in a cheddar-themed top hat in your kitchen, you could just buy powdered Parm. It's okay. It really is. All right, to my bowl, and this is actually a mixing cup, we are going to add some garlic. This is garlic from my garden. And I like the flavor of garlic, so I'm going to add a lot. But if you want less flavor in your dressing, don't use so much. I just poked the side of my finger with the tip of the knife, but I don't think I drew blood. It just made me a little nervous. So I'm smashing those. If you are doing this by hand, you can use a mortar and pestle or pestle to crush it up, or whatever really. You could do anything that you set your mind to. Here's some anchovies that are flat, Napoleon brand, classic taste. Similarly to how I like the taste of garlic, I also like the taste of anchovies. And so we will be using more than a normal amount. So a normal dressing will probably use 2 or 3 fillets. We will use probably 5.
Why is the anchovy company named after Napoleon?
Because they're small, just like him.
I'm gonna go with John's answer, because I don't have an answer. All right, that's 5 anchovies, and we will reserve the remainder. To this, add some Dijon Mustard. It's gotta be Dijon. That's about a teaspoon. And to this, we will also add the yolk of 1 egg. If you're making more dressing, you can add multiple yolks. But essentially, we're gonna try to emulsify this egg yolk into the dressing to make a creamy, good thing.
But is it safe?
Is it safe? Yes, it's safe. I don't know if these are pasteurized or not, but I don't care, because I'm strong. We all got strong constitutions here. Right, Kevin?
Yeah!
Okay, next up we're gonna add some pepper.
That's disgusting.
It's just because you just don't know.
It does look like something that came out of a dog's mouth.
You guys just don't know. Some salt. The last component for this mix would be lemon juice, which I am trying to not let any seeds get in there, even though some people might not know that I hand squeezed it. It's gonna be about a teaspoon of lemon juice as well. And then very simply, we're gonna blitz that together so it looks less like garbage. And this is tough to do with a small amount, but it'll be fine. And pushing through to see, like, did I get most of it? Should be fine. I hope so. Okay, now here's the trickiest part of the whole thing, is we need to emulsify the oil into this mixture. So we're gonna run the mixer and dribble in oil with our other hand. And it'll be way easier once we have enough liquid to cover the immersion blender, which is basically where we're at now. In total, we're gonna use about 1/3 of a cup of oil, maybe more, maybe less. Actually, I'm just gonna eyeball the whole thing. And what you'll notice is that it's gonna get very thick as we mix it together. That's okay. All right, this is ungodly thick. And if that happens to you, you can just add a little water. Easier said than done with this setup. All right, we're looking good. Yeah, so already, and John just commented that it smells like Caesar. That is because that's what it is. But essentially at this point, all we have to do is add cheese. And even though I did the bulk of the work with this immersion blender, at this point I am not gonna mix it further, lest it get too thick. Just like what, Kevin? What would be too thick?
Your mom.
Got it. You got it. All right, so from this point, it's very, very simple. Very, very simple. Take that cheese and stuff it in there. You want a considerable amount of cheese. This is a very cheesy dressing. Also, it will look nicer with some freshly ground black pepper. Then you just need something to mix it together. And again, if it's too thick, you can add a little bit of water. But remember that most of the things you're gonna dress with this will have water because they're vegetables. So you might be okay with some thick dressing. You might be able to just toss it together. So let's give that a quick taste to see what we're working with. It's really good. It's got like a really nice pungent garlic flavor. The anchovy comes through as super umami. This is gonna kick ass. Now, why did we grate all that cheese? It's going on top of the salad. This is kale that I got from New Vrindaban, which is a Hare Krishna settlement / temple in the wilderness of West Virginia. I stopped by there over the weekend, which was fun. They grew this, the garden's there. This is Lacetino, something like that. Also known as Dinosaur Kale. It's one of my favorite kales. We'll give that a good scrubbing over. And one of the nice things for this kale is that you can thin slice it really easily, like so. So you end up with these nice threads of kale, which when coated with cheese and garlic and egg and all those wonderful tasting things, pretty much counteracts all the health that you get from eating the kale, which is the goal. Balance in all things. This is a couple days old, which is why it looks a little funky, but it certainly is still good to eat, and we won't see any of that color when we dress it. Right, John?
That's right.
You can see I did a shitty job chopping some of it. Only the best for my buddies. Okay, there's our kale. And like I mentioned, if your dressing is a little too thick, I don't really know if there is such a thing as too thick, the water from the kale itself should help dilute it a bit. So in this case, we'll take our dressing and we'll spoon out some of that thick, chunky goodness, being conservative at first as to how much dressing we will use, because when you toss it, you'll be amazed at how far it goes. So the tossing in this instance is literally taking some tongs and just moving things around. And you can see everything is nicely coated, and you can actually let this marinate for a little bit if you like. We probably will let it sit for a little bit of time, simply because we're not quite ready to eat dinner. But when we serve this, and I'll go ahead and we'll film serving it just because so we can wrap the episode. Take your dressed kale onto a plate or a bowl, however you like, and then because you're eating so healthy, that green vegetable, add some more cheese. And for that signature restaurant look, some freshly ground black pepper, and you can add accompaniments if you like, such as more anchovies. This is for the anchovy lovers in particular. I count myself among you. This type of salad is also good if you top it with some nuts. There's a restaurant around here that does something very similar to this, where they add roasted filberts, also known as hazelnuts, which are excellent. I actually really like Caesar salads with tomato, which is not traditional at all. And of course you could add croutons, which would be a common addition, but certainly not a healthy one. And here is our kale Caesar. Cheers. It's fantastic. It's way spicier than a normal Caesar, just because of the amount of garlic I put in. Super pungent, but this kicks ass. Love this salad.
Just like Napoleon used to make.
It's very good. I hope you enjoyed this simple little dish. Hope you're inspired to make it too, because it's pretty good.
The kale is the joke.
Yeah. It's just a vehicle for the dressing. Well, that's how you do it. We'll see you next time. Any closing thoughts, Kevin?
Make it.